What comedic gold was that?
Well, the comedic gold. I need a haircut.
I do need a haircut.
You do need a haircut. You are not wrong.
Why am I?
Drams from dividends.
Drams.
Okay,
What
good.
do you boys got? What do you got?
I don't have to do the intro anymore. That's awesome.
You're doing.
I have the Macalonis. This is a Victoria distillery.
Oh.
And I have the Among the Heather blended malt Scotch whiskey.
Okay, so it's a Victoria distillery, but they're saying Scotch.
Oh, yeah, which is a bold-faced lie then, isn't it? Unless, did they just bring in the barrels and blend it? Oh, yeah, no, distilled, matured, and vatted in Scotland, and then bottled by them.
Okay, can we have non-Scotch whiskey on Drams from dividends? I think we can.
Of course we can. It's Drams. Drams is just whiskey.
I got the Royal.
Oh, you still have some Royal Loch Nagar.
I
Nice.
do. And I also have the Black Velvet glass.
Nice.
Very
So
nice.
this is a step up from the red label.
That's a big step up from the red label.
And
Now,
I
what's
gave
the
myself a
idiot
nice pour there.
on the bottom screen doing?
It
Well-
looks like he's having a beer.
I never agreed to this Drams from Dividends program, but that's okay because I like being here and I'm having jam up the mash.
How do we eject him from the Zoom call?
Can we just get rid of him? Can Drams from Dividends just be us so that it's like more uncensored and offside and he's just not here?
See ya. Be a lot easier if I wasn't here, but you'd miss me.
Who would?
You'd miss
these-
the artwork that my wife made for us.
That's fair.
That's most of what we
Now,
missed.
when we put these on the internet,
Sorry to interrupt, but this is like a catastrophe at the moment. The wholly owned company that delivered this has dented it.
oh dear.
Now you can see that the top will not open because of said damage. But you know why I'm drinking this is because this is the last beer from the FR Garage beer tube that made its way back from Manitoba recently. So this is from Findependence 40, the last beer in the fridge. Thanks for sending those out. I am trying the Jump Up the Man. It's a dry hopped sour. So sorry, boys, no Drams tonight, but big shout out to Findependence 40. Thanks, buddy.
Not only no Drams, but we don't get any of the beer tube.
Yeah,
You guys got
classic.
to buy into the beer tube. I'll mail you some
Yeah.
too.
Hey, we're letting you pump it all day on the show.
Yeah, there you go.
What the heck are we doing here today?
We don't know. We're
So
drinking Drams.
We're drinking Drams, that's for sure. Do you guys see the nice little let's call it a drop from ARK funds recently? The mechanic sour is
Sorry.
quite sour, apparently.
I hope he chokes on it.
You remember Sour Kids? You remember those little?
Sour Patch Kids, of course.
Sour
Who
Patch-
doesn't?
Who likes those things? Who likes things being that sour?
This guy right here. This
I
guy.
will.
Yeah.
I'm coming over. We got to trade the dram for the sour. This thing
All right.
is like a Sour Patch Kid in a glass.
I want that immediately.
Boom. That is sour. This is also by Collective Arts out of Ontario, for those that are wondering. But holy crap, that is sour. Pow. Go on. What I totally lost track there. I was in sour moment. It's like a brain freeze of sour.
Oh, I was just chirping Kathy Wood for how crappy her funds have done in the past week because she owns garbage.
Wow, coming out real strong attacking.
Real
Hey?
strong.
I didn't realize that. That was something actually that I did email you guys earlier today because funny how the Twitter and Facebook machine goes like crickets on the whole ARK is the best thing ever in the last month because we've seen it gone from $155 down to $117 today, boys. Holy crap. I hope there isn't a ton of very new investors that were buying it at 130, 140, 150 and putting an unreasonable amount of money into a speculative investment.
Well,
I mean,
so
come on.
I did the look today and I looked at the top 10 holdings. I should do more research and look at the rest of them. But in the top 10 holdings, guess how many had a positive earnings per share or an earnings per share above zero?
So on the earnings per share,
An earnings per share. Guess how many in the top 10 holdings had earnings?
Can I get zero? Do I get a vote for zero?
2 is the correct answer.
Oh,
Good
two.
answer,
Yes!
economist.
I didn't even look. Let's go. Woo!
those 2 positive earnings were canceled out by the smallest of the negative earnings per share. And then the next earnings per share were all horridly negative.
So overall, nobody made money.
Nobody makes money because we're just going to invest in some garbage in businesses that don't make money because that's a logical and smart thing to do. And we're just going to invest on hype and momentum and I'm an idiot.
Do you remember the 2 who made money? Because maybe that's valuable.
So I had never heard of one of the ones that made money. They were at like a 25 times earning multiple, like not entirely outrageous. The other one that made money was Tesla, which doesn't make money. It borderline kind of makes money, but is also the worst car company in the world because they don't like, listen, I hope I'm wrong. I hope Tesla invents the green energy of the future and they save the whole planet and the environment is saved. But if you're talking about a car manufacturer, the worst car manufacturer on the planet is Tesla.
The tech company.
That's a bold
tech company.
Lifestyle company.
Who makes worse amount of cars and amount of sales for the amount of money they spend than Tesla? Please, somebody tell me.
This is not a Tesla bashing episode.
No, it's not. But
isn't this like? But sounds to me what you wanted this to be was what you've always wanted to be, because you came out pretty strong about this on a full episode about is anybody investing in companies that have no fundamentals or no earnings? Isn't that what it's all about?
You know what? When hype goes big, everybody jumps on the bandwagon. Things can blow up for 10 plus years. Everybody says, oh, whatever's dead. You know what? Warren Buffett's been around for a really long time because he knows that value investing is not dead. It's cyclical. He can weather the storm. He buys good companies that make good money. None of the companies in this fund make money.
Might be a good entry
point. Why do I want to own a company that doesn't make money? Please explain that to me.
Might be a good entry point.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Not a good entry point?
No.
It's down.
Well, the thing about these are not only do they not make good money, but you're entering at such a high valuation.
Yeah. Like, why do I want something that's at 1,000 times earnings? I don't. I just don't want that.
And this is where our discussion here, a quick little hit, is lost, because the bigger discussion is why is so much weight put on future earnings now? This is not historical. Evaluating a company is a mathematical process. And if you've read the book Good to Great, then you'll know that some of that process has to do with its management team, its board. There are some unknown unknowns and some intangibles that make companies great, right? But when it comes down to it, a lot of what we're seeing in this speculative nature in ARK and tech and the rest of it is like massive overpayment for future earnings. What is the deal with that? Yeah. Why is everyone just like, I don't care. I think there's going to be massive future earnings. I don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's honestly like, if you're buying Tesla right now, pretend it's I get it that it's tech, whatever. But if the corner store down the street earned $1 every year, would you pay $1,000 to buy that? Of course you wouldn't. No one in their right mind buys a business.
But that's not entirely fair, because the corner store is the corner store of the corner store.
I understand. But a certain level of what the business could be gets factored in. But at some point, it just gets out of hand. And I don't mean to constantly pick on Tesla. I could have picked the 8 other funds at their top 10 holdings that don't make any money.
Companies, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, solar, alternative energy, disruptive technologies,
Disruptive technologies. Yeah. Well, what happens when it's not disruptive? What happens when everybody forgets about it and it disappears?
Okay, here's my thing. Why not pick one?
You want to pick the flyer again?
Yeah, what? You're just diversifying your downside, really, with ARK, aren't you?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong there. I mean, you're taking risk on what is assumed to be a ton of failures.
Yeah.
Well, we assume that. Maybe
Wow,
the
okay.
market isn't assuming that. But I'd rather pick a flyer myself. I don't know.
You have to do the work. I think what it is people are genuinely averse to work these days.
No. That's just people every not these days.
Okay.
That's-
We're all generally lazy. I will admit myself to being lazy too. But I think that's the thing, right? Is it's so much easier to create a product now and hype a product. It's so much harder to pick a stock and hype a stock.
Well,
Right?
I
You're
think
not going to get the bandwidth. You're not going to get the media play. So the ones that may be winners because they're part of the fund may be winners unjustifiably, which is interesting too.
Well, and I think a lot of people see it as like, oh, I can get into this venture capital space and I'm going to get all these up and coming shares. Well, all the shares that are sitting in ARK are publicly listed as far as I'm aware. At least the ones I was looking at all were.
At least
Okay.
the top 10 holdings.
At least the top 10 holdings. So they've already gone through their VC rounds and they're public. Like, it's a lot different talking, hey, I'm a venture capital guy. I have $1 million and I put 100 grand into 10 companies and 9 of those companies are going to zero. But the one that I got right is going to $100 million and I'm making a ton of money. You're not in that in ARK. I think a lot of people think they're in that when they're in ARK.
Do we have a venture capital ETF?
It does.
You don't want one.
Well, you don't want one, and VCs wouldn't want to create one.
Yeah.
Why would you
well,
want to do that?
I think you would want one.
No.
Why not?
It'd never make any money. It'd be the greater fool theory.
Say again.
It's the greater fool theory, right? It's like the ETF would have to go up because the underlying holdings aren't worth anything. Maybe one of them is.
Right. Well, that's what the accountant was saying.
So that sounds like a bad business model to pick. Oh, wait a minute. It sounds like a business model that we just talked about to pick 100 different stocks that 98 of them won't make money and
Right.
2 will.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny when you reverse engineer that and go, guys, let's start a fund of 100 companies that don't make money. Guaranteed 2 will. That'll be successful, boys. That about sums that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much nails it.
I don't know how else you put it, right?
Yeah. Anyway, I'm still call me old fashioned, but I'd like companies that I invest in to make money. Call me old fashioned.
You're the oldest millennial we know.
Yes, yes, I am, and
You're
I
not
wear
wrong.
that badge proudly.
I can't wait till he has a pipe with his dram too. So he's got his pipe there.
Oh
and
God, can I get a corncob pipe?
There's
Still make those?
Hey,
They smell good. Like smoking's bad and all, but
pipes
Pipes
do
smell
smell good.
good.
Yeah. Let us know what you think down below in the comments. We're not right. We're not wrong, but we're here to give you an opinion anyway. And yeah, cheers. Thanks again for the sour beer. It's like a Sour Patch Kid though. Once you suck on those little candies for a while, they get a little better, but man,
We really need to work on his phrasing.
Yeah. I'm gonna give a shout out to Royal Lancnagar. Better than Johnny Walker Red.
better.
That must have been hard to beat.
Better. Well, when the accountant buys me that bottle of Black Label he owes me, I'll have a dram for dividends too.
We will tell that story one day.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Good night.